Hello everyone. So recently there's been a new discovery in The Last of Us Remake. It doesn't have to do with any enemy pattern or Joel himself. It has to do with the game's settings. Let's go under Options and Display, and you'll see these two. Rendering mode and unlocked frame rate. Now, if you don't have the proper equipment, then this is always turned off by default. But rendering mode, there's two different modes. One is fidelity, which means higher resolution and lower frame rate, which in this game is 4K at 30 FPS. And in performance mode, it's the opposite. Higher frame rate, lower resolution. But that lower resolution is usually 1440 at 60 frames per second. And it looks pretty good. But there's this other setting, unlocked frame rate. Now this one can only be turned on if you have the right monitor, and I don't think it's one or the other. I think it has to be both. Resolution has to be turned to automatic. VRR and 120 hertz output have to both be turned to automatic. This means variable refresh rate, and this is 120 hertz. Both of these have to be turned on, and you have to have the right monitor that can support that. And if you do, you can turn unlocked frame rate on. Now what that does is, well, it unlocks the frame rate. Now, it rarely gets up to 120. Most of the time while you're playing, it's going to be somewhere between 75 and 90 frames per second. And what that does, it does two things. One, it makes the aiming feel a lot better, which for anyone who knows higher frame rates, you know, that makes a lot of sense, especially with PC games. But I've been so critical about this game and like the way it feels when Joel aims a gun and something. I never really liked how this game felt. But I clicked this on and the aiming just felt a lot better. Not great, but a lot better compared to just 60 frames per second. But then while we were doing an attempt, which is also my current world record at the time I'm recording this, we noticed something. And that something is when Joel pushes or pulls a crate, a dumpster, or a pallet in the water, he moves it faster.
Up there. That'll get us to the north.
Let me show you what I mean.
How are we supposed to reach that?
Just give me a minute.
So we are going to time how long it takes to move this dumpster over to that car. I want everything to be consistent, so be right here. And again, we are on performance and unlocked frame rate on. If you were to do unlocked frame rate on and fidelity, it does like 40 to 50 frames per second at a slightly higher resolution. You don't really want that. It looks kind of off. And I don't know why you would ever want to play in 30 FPS. I can even notice it just in the menuing here. For the best gameplay experience, professional gameplay experience, performance mode, unlocked frame rate. You'll get 1080p at 75 to 90 frames per second. But as a result of this higher frame rate, Joel will push things faster. Take a look. .7. Keep that in mind. 10.7. Now, let's turn the unlocked frame rate off. So now we are in a locked 60 frames per second,
Up there.
which again still
That'll
looks
get
pretty
us to
good.
the north tunnel.
How are we supposed to reach that?
Just give me a minute.
And let's do the same thing. Ellie's gonna have to move out of the way. Just move. Thank you. All right, we're comparing against a 10.7. Here we go. We're conducting an experiment here. Do you mind? Thank you. God. All right, here we go. 10.7. 10.7. Almost 2 seconds slower. Now that's not a coincidence. Joel is moving this thing quite a bit slower in 60 frames per second compared to higher than that. And you can even just see it if I'm just moving it around here.
Up there. That'll get
You
us
can
to
even
the
see
north
it with the
tower.
naked eye.
How are we supposed to reach that?
Just give me a minute.
Again, even just moving it, can't you tell he's moving it just a little bit faster? It passes the eye test. He's just moving it faster. Now, this logic applies to every dumpster, crate, and swimming pallet in the game. So this kind of adds up over time. I don't know how much exactly, but we're going to estimate somewhere between like 20 seconds saved, on top of the fact the game just feels better to play. And it looks better, too. So what exactly does this do for the leaderboards? What are we going to do with the leaderboards? Well, we talked about it, and this is what we decided. There's this little thing we added right here. VRR, variable refresh rate. Do you have it on or off? So yes or no, is it on or off? And we put this in every category. Now, the reason it's no for everything is I did a run with this on for the first time like 4 days ago. Nobody had ever tried it before. So here's my record that I got, and I'm the only person who's ever tried it before. So hopefully this like encourages people to go with the fastest version, which is hold on. Once again, performance mode and unlocked frame rate on. And to get those, go under screen and video. This and this have to be turned to automatic. And yeah, and again, if we go back here, if you want to like compare, because not everyone has a monitor that's going to be able to support this kind of the variable refresh rate and the higher frame rates and stuff, you can choose to whether compare your runs to someone who does have it on or not via the filter. So all of a sudden, only the no's will show up. Or you can do only the ones with yeses. Again, not many people have done this. Now, honestly, if the PC version of this game wasn't coming out in like 2 weeks from today, from the moment I'm recording this, we would probably go with separate categories if it was only locked to the PlayStation 5 only. But because PC's coming out soon and everyone's probably going to flock over to that one, we figured just a separate variable to make the boards look a bit cleaner. That way you can compare against it or not. But yeah, we also didn't want to disallow the literal fastest way to play. This will save you quite a bit of time just in performance of your own abilities and moving things. It's pretty bizarre, but yeah. And again, the reason this wasn't put on the boards earlier is because we literally only found this out a few days ago. Speedrunning works in very, very strange ways. But yeah, that's about it. See you guys. Bye.